So what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in two different places at the same time, and a different suspect was arrested at the other crime scene. Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. It's how to go. It is Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind the simultaneous murder, they wouldn't see capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regrets, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. This guy, we discovered traces left by a certain person in the police department's evidence room. It belonged to Officer Jake Marshall. You found Officer Marshall's traces? Bloodstained fingerprints to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. Not anymore, because you told it, you just blurted it out. You understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're gonna accuse Mr. Marshall? You have to play the cards we're dealing, isn't that right, Miss Guy? Do we have to do Mr. Right? Ooh, okay. Court is now in session. Yep. Can you figure out anything, Edgeworth? I'm afraid you have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach criminal affairs from prosecutor's office. Victim Bruce Goodman was slain at both places at the same time. That's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from evidence room just disappeared, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as a prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I'll present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe that the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things. Especially during yesterday's court. Even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. Exactly. And that's supposed to be an admiral trait. Let's the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? First witness is... The prosecutor calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. Meekins, right? Things are getting wild from the get-go. Hey, you're telling me. Look at his hand. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir, I'm Officer Mike Meekins. Occupation is... That'd be a murderer, sir. Well, that's not your occupation. So you're telling us you're a professional killer. It was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You gotta believe me, sir. Actually, we'd like to hear from you is... I'm what you call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order. Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I am part of the generation that must be told what to do. Oh, great. I can't fault him for the lack of enthusiasm. Ugh. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer knocked me awake. Victim Detective Goodman attacked you. Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto. I see that you fainted and your colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir, he knocked me upside the head. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. More info? Okay, so you just want me to press on it, on everything. Okay, thank you, game, for telling me that. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I am in charge of hiring new recruits. Now there's a scary thought. Evidence transfer was taking place on that day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger. What? Blue Badger. The lovely police mascot created by the head detective. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day. Why don't you just put it somewhere that it can't get broken, unless like someone did it? Actually, sounds like a very important mission. After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around. Then I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. So that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? Spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir, I have one right here around my neck. Yeah, what's your number? Then, your ID number should be listed here, right? Yeah, what's their number? You're 4989596. You're the last one right there, right? 4989596. But he says that what the fuck? So he going in before and then after? But like, who's the guy that woke him up from his after he passed out? Who's the Sevens? I see, huh? With the numbers, yep, they're there twice too. Shown being used twice. Oh yeah, he relocated it into the. And then the second time is when I go to get him after being settled down. Everything's settled down. It was the second time when he saw the guy. Okay. I was only doing what I was trying to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. You were attacked? Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you. With me charging in on him like that, he looked as suspicious as I was. You're not exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash in my hand. Maybe if you kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be. When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked and grabbed my man by his collar. All this sounds like is him misinterpreting the situation, and Goodman was there just for the knife, the evidence that was probably going to be transferred, right? Because that case is already closed and been like done with. And then he freaks out that he sees someone with a knife, and then it flails his arm into the knife. And what exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. Yeah, he totally. Oh, he's an idiot. A man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. He took the knife. I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. And he closed his eyes too, so he didn't see what happened. Next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then the next thing I knew, He punched me right in my face. So, like, his suit was drenched in blood. Was it like that during the incident in the parkade? After that, I passed out until another house smacked me awake. And who was that? How time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Tell us who... according to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain. That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is. I carry him around, though. Made sure to finish my mission. The Blue Badger? Yeah. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Well, you can all rest easy now. We do not have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor, only one thing remains unclear. Was the man in the, this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my cell. Chief Cat delivered it to me this morning. What is that? Is it the video evidence that we didn't get to see what happened? That's absolutely right, a videotape. It contains footage from a security camera of the evidence room. Why didn't we get this before? I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and I was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I am told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Plus, the communication with the police department is good as ever. You do what you're told. Let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. Please stop using that word murder. It scares, even though you used it already. I guess you used killing. Professional killer. A video of a real murder. Yeah, let's watch it. Let's see it. Oh boy. 1714. Oh, look at that animation. Oh, what dropped there? The gloves? This is cool. Fucking... Oh my god. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How could we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? How do you not know that, Edgeworth? Come on. That's the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department. Blue Badger. Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Can I watch that again? Anyway, this tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone. Yeah, we didn't even get to see his face. The camera was like... There was a camera there, though. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that alright with you, Officer Meekins? Alright, yeah, as you wish, sure. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprints to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else can have unlocked it. Here's what I'm thinking, right? The thing that fell out of the locker. What if someone put that there before he could close it all the way to enter the lock? So it was not it was just open the whole time. Huh? What about that? I'm one of those. Where's this finger reach? Tied to be in a locker equipped with a fingerprint activated lock. These locks ensure that each lock can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing, that would mean the victim at the crime scene would have had to be Detective Goodman. Yeah, I'm gonna just, Everything begins with contradictions at the start, yeah. I'm gonna press him on, face can't be clearly seen in the video. There's no question that the other person was Dr. Goodman. We need to open the locker. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video, the man's face. Sir, if I may say something, you're the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in the case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body. My unsettled state can testify enough to that, sir. What about the gloves? Did the gloves, like, play a different role in this too? You have a point, the footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. Let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with it, security guard? Yeah, of course there's a problem. There has to be a problem. Regarding the video containing the tape, there's one thing in particular that seems rather strange. That contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not be Detective Goodman. I'm just gonna go with my theory that it wasn't closed all the way because of the gloves that fell out of it. I propose we have the defense point out to us the alleged contradiction in the video. You'd want me to point it out? Yep, of course you would. I would too. Now play the security tape again. Right, please show us the contradiction you speak of. I have to point out a problem with the video. This is the first time I've ever had to do that. Set up so you can fast forward, rewind, pause the video. Take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. And how are we going to do that? Probably just press it. Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the may? Okay. Look, it's lit up. Check that shit out. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. The officer Meekins. Sir, do you mean me, sir? As I understand, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If the print matches the registered data, the light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. And if so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. The gloves were stuffed, but like, how did Goodman not realize that someone stuffed a thing in his locker? You know, like, why would he leave it open enough for someone else to do that to him? When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind a little earlier. You know, like, here, notice the lights. What's this? It's already lit. Yep. Precisely my point, Your Honor. Locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. I knew it. I called that shit. Order, what's the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked. Must have been broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. It just goes to show that an office should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Of course I do. Why wasn't locked unlocked? Well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jam the electronic system. There's something else that seems out of place in this video. I thought so too. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage. Come on, Wright. Locker was unlocked. Mr. Wright, please point out the cause of this. Whee! Pause. Shit. There it is. Watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Where's the music at? Ooh, you see that? What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. Sir, it's been my experience that things didn't fall out when the doors are open. I often fall out and fuck. We can't be sure. That item was in the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted. Yeah. What if that was the case? It is the case. You see, the white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 of the 3 times it gets stuck on the door when I open the patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closed and my tie chokes me. The object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Not only that, I would also have to block electrical currents. You would need an insulator. Insulator, but the crime scene. There just might have been something that fits the description. Insulator, you don't mean? Oh, I got this figured out. We're only helping the case for Meekins and not like we're hurting the case for Lana. Where's the insulator? Here, let's see. Here it is, a rubber glove. Found this near the locker, a thin rubber glove. We can't be sure that was in the victim's locker. It had to take SL9 incident. The video seemed to depict the victims opening the locker, but that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. If this is not so, Officer Meekins. Sir, it would appear so, sir. Order, order, order. So are we to believe then that the victim whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman? How do you not recognize his face? Does not realize, you know? Not remember. Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course. Is this a joke? Alright, I'll begin your testimony. I'm gonna talk about the ID. There's one thing that proved the man Detective Goodman, sir. Under the evidence room, one must use their ID card. He must have lost it. When an ID card is used, there's a record of its time of the crime. The detective had used his card. Ugh. ID card record, I see. I have the ID card record right here. Okay. Yep, 90 used at 5:14 is that of the victim. Just before the crime. Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due to the transfer. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special, yeah. What's so special about it? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Okay, just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, and it doesn't make me much of a difference. Alright, there were only a few cases up for the transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon. Alright, so where should I put this? One other thing that proves the man was Detective Gibbons, sir. And the evidence room, you must enter your ID card. Where is the, Why not? Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. Not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. 30 minutes away. Your Honor, sir, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. The last item report is only half completed, but it shows Detective Gibbons lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess, you believe this something is to be his ID card. I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Gibbons is not carrying his card. So now, what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't require much as thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Yep. Yep, does this prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Allow me to summarize the defense's arguments. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct? Yep. Oh boy. That being the case, you must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in the video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. You're leading Phoenix right on to follow up with Lana, right? There's something wrong, Mr. Wright. Only moments ago you seemed content by pointing your finger around. This isn't good. Yeah, it isn't. Not yet at all. Oh well, seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. The innocence of Meekins and the guiltiness of Lana. Our defense, yep. That defense has already done explaining for me. The victim in the video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place in one location, the underground parking lots. At the prosecutor's office, murder being Miss Lana Sky, the defendant. Evidence is compelling. The trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. Ugh. Ooh. I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. Actually, the activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim after Meekins encountered, and where did the person disappear to? However, the trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor, Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana's guilty. Object. One moment, Your Honor. Well, now, Mr. Wright, don't tell me you're objecting to what you just proven. Of course not, but I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. Cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. Security video did not show the actual murder. Yep. Where'd he go, though? Where'd he go after that? Where could he have possibly gone? However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, a large amount of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination of the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth, yes, Your Honor. If this court was to examine further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered that incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean, Your Honor? Defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh boy. Whom do you have in mind? Someone who have reason to believe knows the truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. Prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify. Emma Sky. No, Dick Gumshoe. Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? Can't let him know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Thank you for agreeing, Edgeworth. Very well, the court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during the time? Recess. Oh boy. That was smooth. It still took half an hour, but it was smooth, I guess. There's no stopping you there, Mr. Wright. What do you mean? He called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out. Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Yeah, she absolutely knows what's going on. You always know everything, why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. You didn't, you're right. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Come on, Lana. Oh, I'm a fucking gumshoe, dude. That's funny. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. And then he leaves all sad and dejected. What is it? What do you need, Gumshoe? You got a little nerve, pal, making a detective runner all around on while on duty. And top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, detective. You better be, pal. Hey. Hey. I didn't see you there, Miss Guy. That's okay, so what have you brought what I asked? Oh. You mean this, right? My apologies, detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name? What the fuck? What'd you get? Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? Whoa, okay, nice. I'll need them by noon. I'll talk about crazy. SL9 incident. But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright would need them, so I had them brought here. Are we about to learn everything about this incident right now, in this 20-minute recess? You might do well to read them. I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case. You were a witness in the SL9. Oh, of course she was. More connections to the SL9 case now. Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with with serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma, but why? Why is your name in here? What? My name's in there. No. Emma's name in there, unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana. This SL9 incident, is that? That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it was as the Joe Dart killing. Joe Dart. I don't know who that is. That's over with. 2 years ago, that mean Emma ran away. Great. What happened with us though that? You know what? I just remembered I gotta be somewhere. Yeah, Gumshoe, thanks for the help. You're always a pal. Sorry pal, but I'm out of here. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gantz, Miles Edge. Just everyone in this whole chapter is in this. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. Can't be a coincidence. Knowing you, you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I better take a good look at this file. Oof. To be continued.